The epic of faith, Moses versus Pharaoh. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, was a tyrant, a man consumed by pride. He declared himself a god, demanding worship from all his subjects. But his hatred was focused on the Bani Israel, the descendants of Jacob, whom he enslaved and tormented with crushing cruelty. The prophecy and the basket. One night, Pharaoh had a terrible dream. A boy from the Bani Israel would rise up and destroy his empire. Driven by fear, he issued a chilling decree: kill every newborn son born to the Israelites. When Hazrat Musa was born, his mother was desperate, her heart full of terror. But guided by divine inspiration, she placed her precious infant in a small basket and launched him into the dangerous currents of the River Nile. Imagine her pain. Miraculously, the basket drifted right to the palace of the tyrant himself. Pharaoh's wife, Hazrat Asiya, saw the baby and felt an immediate, profound love. Despite Pharaoh's fierce opposition, she pleaded, "Do not kill him. He may be a comfort to our eyes." And so, the child destined to be Pharaoh's downfall was raised in his very own home. The divine call. Years later, after an incident forced him to flee to Madian, Moses received his divine calling. While leading his family back, he saw a fire on Mount Ur. As he approached, a voice boomed from the fire, the voice of Almighty God. He was appointed a prophet and given 2 powerful miracles. His staff would transform into a giant devouring serpent, and his hand would glow with a dazzling, brilliant light. God commanded him, "Go to Pharaoh. Speak to him gently. Perhaps he may yet fear me and listen." The clash of miracles. Moses and his brother, Hazrat Harun, confronted the ruthless Pharaoh, demanding, "Let the children of Israel go." Pharaoh scorned them. "A mere shepherd boy dares challenge me? Bring me your proof." Pharaoh gathered the greatest sorcerers in all of Egypt. It was a massive spectacle. The sorcerers threw down their ropes and staffs, and by their dark magic, the ground appeared to crawl with snakes. Then came Moses' moment of truth. With a prayer, he cast down his staff. Instantly, it became a terrifying serpent that swallowed every single illusion the sorcerers had created. The sorcerers were stunned. They realized this was no mere magic, this was a sign from God. They immediately fell in prostration, crying out, "We believe in the Lord of Moses and Aaron." Pharaoh, in a rage, threatened them with brutal execution, but their faith held firm. The plagues of terror. Because Pharaoh refused to release the slaves, God sent a series of devastating plagues upon Egypt. Bloody water. The River Nile, their source of life, turned to blood. Swarming frogs. Locusts that devoured every crop. Lice and other pests. With each plague, Pharaoh would promise, "I will let them go." But as soon as the affliction was lifted, his arrogant heart would harden again. The final deliverance. Finally, God commanded Moses to lead the Bani Israel out of Egypt in the dead of night. Pharaoh, maddened by their escape, pursued them with his entire massive army. The Israelites reached the Red Sea, a colossal obstacle. They were trapped, the sea before them, Pharaoh's chariots thundering behind. Fear gripped their hearts. Then, the ultimate miracle. Moses struck the water with his staff, and the immense sea parted. The water stood up like 2 vast, towering walls, leaving a dry path across the seabed. Moses and his people hurried across to freedom. Pharaoh, blinded by his pride, plunged his army into the divided sea. But just as the last Israelite reached the other side, God commanded the waters to return. The towering walls of water crashed down. Pharaoh and his mighty army were swallowed by the waves, drowning forever. It was the ultimate end to tyranny, and the eternal proof that faith, no matter how small, will always triumph over the greatest power of evil.